Look at these two guys.
What's up?
How we all doing tonight?
We are here.
We are charged up.
Oh, look, we got a new RMP pay-per-view membership supporter in Stevie Y. I think that was there during the premiere, but we'll shout him out anyway.
Hey, Stevie. Stevie Y.
Queen.
Because he's subscribed.
Queen Vampirus, Lilith, To-Do List Studios. How we all doing?
To-Do List Studios is right. This was fire.
It really was. All right. I believe that's it in chat. Give a little quick shout out to. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Dudes and Belts Recharge Post Show here on Twitch. Not Twitch again, YouTube.
No, it's YouTube, Johnny.
I know. I know. I said this on Sunday. The Twitch thing has been embedded in my mind for over 2 years before we switched to YouTube. It's going to take some time. Promise. It will not be there too much longer, hopefully. Anyways, I am your host, Johnny Deathdrop, and yes, what a fallout episode from Peak of the Pack that we just witnessed about 15 minutes ago. Before we get into everything, let's introduce the panel for tonight. On the left, we have the one that lives way up there on the east coast of Maine, the inventor of the Beacon of the Week, the one and only Coastal Crusader.
What is going on, everybody? We had a lot of things happen tonight that were strange, in between, and really, really good. We saw a Karen sighting. My favorite Karen, Curtis Cole, was on the show. So we will talk about all that later.
And, of course, we have the voice of Ignition. You actually saw him on the call for the entire Peak of the Pack pay-per-view and pre-show last Friday night. He is the encyclopedia of Rocky Mountain Pro, the one and only Lucas Bradwell.
Well, guys, the march to milestone is upon us. We are in full swing. I don't even know what to think about what we saw tonight. But I'll really quick. I'm glad to see that I'm not the only one that hates Curtis Cole's guts. I know you guys do, but now, hey, we got a clown. We got a clown on our side. We got President Dean's got to be on our side. The way he's been manhandled in this episode.
About Dean. Dean's had some issues,
and we could talk about that as well. So
yeah,
we
got a lot to talk about.
We absolutely do.
I'm sure
Dean's had a very, very, very rough.
I'm sure Lucas has some words to Dean. I'm sure
I do, but I'm gonna be fair about it. I promise you, I will not be. I won't be slanted.
I mean, you were all.
We are impartial wrestling journalists.
I mean, you were all on him during Friday's show of Peak of the Pack. I know that.
Well, yeah, I had a lot to get off my chest, and you saw a lot go down that was sort of his doing.
All right. We'll save all of that during the course of the show. Before we get into this episode of Charge that we just saw, for all you guys on YouTube, if you guys don't mind hitting that like button, leaving a comment below the VOD after the show is over. It helps out with the algorithm to push. Yeah, push. I'm having a hard time tonight. Yeah, to push. Oh, we are right off to a start tonight.
All right.
I guarantee you it's in a dictionary somewhere around the world.
Okay, salt and pepper. Slide and push it. Let's go.
Push, La Bouche. Remember there was a group called La Bouche?
Yeah, hey, well, you know what? I know what you're doing. That is how Sergey would be. La Bouche, the like button.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. La Bouche, the muffin button.
The Sergey Wrestling Academy.
Oh, Lord help me. All right. Please push the like button, not the push the button. Push the button, please. Leave a comment below the VOD and make sure to push the subscribe button and push and push the notification bell so you don't miss another episode of Dudes and Belts and Charge.
You Could we please have La Pouche?
Johnny, did you get a visit from Cushman? What's going on over there?
I'm on like 2
No, you know
hours
what?
of sleep, and I got a 17-hour shift
Lucas,
tomorrow, man.
so-
I'm feeling it right now.
So real quick, Lucas, at Peak of the Pack, when I first saw the first tag team, that was Mick Diamond and Atiba. I was like, man, we are just Cushman away from Puff the Magic Dragon.
Yes, I was there. I was watching your guys' review. It was a great review, by the way. But yeah, it would have been Puff the Magic Dragon, but I unfortunately there was no Puff, so I had to just call it Magic Dragons. Yeah.
He came out later, but anyway.
Yeah.
All right, we're already starting off the night by creating new vocabulary. This is great. All right.
Well, it's not horse cockery,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
That's something I have to use for Reignite. I got to remind myself that. Just make sure you do all the things on YouTube, please and thank you. All right, moving on. Let's talk about this episode before I get myself in too much of a tongue twisting night. We started off the show, ladies and gentlemen, with Danger Dean and Curtis Cole backstage talking about, well, mainly Curtis complaining about how he doesn't have a...
Hold on. Curtis was asking to speak to the manager. Let's get that straight. Karen was asking to speak to the manager.
Yes.
By manager, I think you mean El Presidente.
Well, that is the manager. At this juncture, Karen was asking to speak to the manager.
Anyways, I'm going to turn this over to Lucas because I think there's a little bit of confusion here in why Curtis thinks that he should have a shot at the RMP championship or any championship for that matter, considering he's been gone for about a month and a half.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's put it all into perspective. So after Never Broken, it was supposed to be Curtis Cole was supposed to be wrestling El Rey Leon, Craig Fairley, and they were supposed to have a series of matches that was supposed to get him into that Four Corners #1 contenders match. Unfortunately, he broke his finger, wasn't able to be in that program. Sky Hossman took his place, so he was not able to be in that #1 contenders match. This is where he thinks that he deserves to be in that because he broke his finger. Well, crap happens. And sometimes, you're getting that ring and you injure yourself. Sorry, but you don't get it. It's kind of like an athlete. Let's say one of the Boston Celtics or one of the Denver Nuggets. Oh, they get hurt and they're not able to be in the NBA Finals, say. And then they want to go to the commissioner after the finals and say, hey, I want to, restart the finals because I was injured. That's about how stupid Curtis Cole's argument is.
Lucas, I can do you one better. Let's take a look at Ronnie Lott. Ronnie Lott's finger broke one day in a football game. And then they said, hey, you can't play anymore. We need to fix this. And he went, hey, you know what? Just cut it off.
Yes, absolutely. We've seen this with real athletes. We've seen this a lot.
So, hey, Curtis, just cut it off next time and you'll be good.
But yeah, so he was demanding to be a #1 contender, or basically say he should have been the #1 contender. He wants to kind of jump in the line, and there was a little shoving match between him and Dean. It started to almost get physical, like the jackass that he is. Curtis Cole thinks he can do whatever the hell he wants, and Sin Bodhi happened to be in shouting distance and heard what was going on, saw what was going on, and he didn't have a problem. He got a little physical with Dean himself, pushed Dean out of the way, got right in between, and got in Curtis Cole's face. Told Dean, "Go ahead and make it happen. I'll put my shot on the line with this." I forget exactly what the words were, but to me, I know he wanted to say this freaking jackass right here, Curtis Cole, which is what I would want to say. So, yeah, so Dean made it happen. We were supposed to have a #1 contenders match later on in the night.
That doesn't happen because, well, Karen's got to be Karen's, and it's not Killer Curtis Cole. It's Karen Curtis Cole.
It's Karen Curtis Cole, yes.
Oh, man, he wanted to speak to the manager. And then Sin Bodhi comes out and Sin's like, hey, you know what? I'll be your manager. And that's the thing. Like, Curtis, come on, buddy. Like, maybe, let's just figure this out. Maybe if you didn't chop the most dominant tag team partner in Peak of the Pack in the chest, you would have a number one contendership right now.
Got a valid point.
And what an idiot. And what an idiot. I'm going to re-say what I said on Peak of the Pack. What an idiot. You had a meal ticket all the way to the finals.
He did.
And he had to poke the bear like a freaking moron. And I called him out on that. He totally heard me and had some words for me, as always. But
well, the truth hurts, Curtis.
Yeah, that was stupid. So he totally cost himself that shot. So he already had his shot at Peak of the Pack, like you just said. So just a crybaby like usual.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, that's enough of that. We'll be seeing more of that later on this evening. But boys, we are starting off action tonight on Charge with a rematch for the Rocky Mountain Pro Heavyweight Championship from Peak of the Pack. Dax Draper versus David Drake. What a way to start off the Fallout episode of Charge.
Absolutely. I mean, I didn't expect this. Like, I mean, we ended Peak of the Pack with, the Peak of the Pack match, but we ended with David Drake and them shaking, and Dak Draper shaking hands. We come back to Charge. It's the first thing I get to see in the ring, and I'm like, okay, let's go. And Dak Draper was absolutely up for the challenge. We see him. He's all business when he comes out to the ring, and he has a game plan, and I really liked his game plan. He concentrated on the hands, and I really like that because we know the Mandible Maul is a big move for David Drake, and he starts stomping on hands and really working that. And hey, if you can't feel your fingers, you can't do them all. And that really seems to be a great game plan. I think we need to see more people adopt that against Drake moving forward. We get near the end here, and then Drake. This is something I didn't expect out of Drake. I really didn't expect him to use the ref as just like, I guess, an implement of destruction. He gets in the way. Unfortunately for Spicer, he gets, drop kicked. It surprised me. Drake has never done that before. He has taken, various means to get a victory, but I've never seen him involve the ref before, so this was new. Seems to me like maybe he's getting desperate because he was not able to really put Dak Draper down. For the first time in a long time, this seemed like a match through a lot of it that Drake looked normal. He did not look like the superhuman horror monster that we had seen before. Lucas, I understand that he is to you and he would be to me if I went through that as well. But for the guys in the ring, he seems vulnerable. And it seems like he's getting desperate. And this just showed it tonight. And it showed it in the end, too. He wasn't able to put Draper away after that, and he went to the pipe. Thankfully, Dean comes out and puts an end to this. I mean, I know we get disqualification, which, to me, it was the disqualification to throw it out, because if it's disqualification, doesn't he lose the title?
Well, no, it was a no contest.
Okay.
Is what it, yeah,
right.
Yeah. So.
Okay, no contest. So the president obviously was a big part of that, so it's his decision. So it went no contest, and I mean, when is enough, though, Lucas, for Dean? When we see the pipe again, we see him using the ref. When is enough that we are going to do something about David Drake?
That's a good question. I will say at least we saw him try to do something tonight, get physical at least, and he wasn't scared of it. Mm-hmm. I'll give Dean credit. He looks to be like he's finally fed up with Drake, so maybe he'll finally come up with a solution that will neutralize this problem that's David Drake, because yeah, something's got to be done, but at least now we're seeing a little less fear out of Dean. We're seeing a less fear out of the opponents of David Drake, like you mentioned. Even I'm starting to get at least a little bit more comfortable being around. I can at least be in the same arena without, walking out and having a breakdown, which I couldn't have said a few weeks ago. So
it's one of those things, though. You see him every week, and he started out as Zeus, and now he looks like a bum on the streets. Like,
yeah,
what is going on with Drake?
You wonder if maybe even all this this persona of his is caught up to him, and maybe it's too much for him. I don't know, and I'm not trying to say that I think this is who he really is, but maybe it's gotten to him too much. He can't control his life, whatever his life is. To be honest with you, I don't know. So yeah, there's definitely a vulnerability, at least, that we're seeing. So that gives us hope that somewhere down the line, someone is going to be able to do something that'll not only take the belt away from this guy, but to take away the stranglehold that he's had on the company with all the chaos that he's caused.
Let me give you a question for you guys, because I think you were kind of approaching this topic, but just went off just a tad. When was the last time David Drake successfully defended the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship in a clean pinfall or a submission?
Ray Leone?
Back in January, right?
Yeah,
I think that's correct, yeah.
So we're almost 6 months.
If I'm Danger Dean and I'm looking at that stat alone, I'd be doing something about that.
Yeah. Now what is D. Chris D trying to imply here with his comment over here? Didn't Drake start looking bad right around when he had a roommate for a couple of weeks? I wonder who that roommate is. Are you trying to say that maybe he got tired of me and I could be a part of it?
Yeah, Drake's had a few roommates. Let's not forget not only Lucas, but Owen Easton, Dak Draper,
as far as we know, Sergey.
Maybe it was Sergey.
Yeah, Sergey could drive you way crazy.
We need to look out for Sergey Pro Wrestling Academy after Peak of the Pack. That was a great tag team.
So, match happened, no contest. Once again, David Drake walks out still with the title without a clean pinfall or submission. We go backstage, and then we see more of the fallout that we saw in the ring between Dax Draper and Dean. Do we have any info on Dak's suspension, Lucas?
No, we do not. Dean has said that he's given him the next few weeks off. From what I understand, we may not see Dak till Milestone if Dean even has anything for him to do at Milestone. So, we won't see him for the next 3 or 4 episodes of Charged.
When we first started doing Reignited, which is on Thursdays now, it was on Tuesdays, and Dean was a part of that. We used to have Dean on. He was on the...
Dean was the OG of Reignited, as a matter of fact.
He was.
Yes, he was.
So I feel like for a year now, I've known Dean pretty well. Can we stop suspending people that just piss you off, Dean? Like, for a while, I was like, I'm backing you up. Like, okay, you're getting your butt kicked. Okay, he needs to go. But now it just seems like you're suspending people just for the fact of suspending people. Like Sledge, Dak. Like, can we just keep some people on the roster?
I understand why he's doing it, because he knows the guys that he has suspended. He knows they can be hotheads, but they're people that if they get a cooling down period, that maybe things will get better. If he did this to David Drake, it wouldn't do a damn bit of good. David Drake would just come on the show and wreak havoc.
Oh, yeah.
So I get it. You've got different strategies for different wrestlers. And knowing Dak, he's going to cool off, think about what he's doing. I think Dak will kind of be able to reflect on this and come up with a new strategy of how he's going to confront David Drake and confront Dean about his future with Rocky Mountain Pro, because right now it looks like his future is kind of up in the air. Because will he get? I mean, after this, will he get any more title shots? I don't know. He's had basically a time limit draw and a no contest in 2 consecutive matches. So he hasn't lost, but he hasn't won.
The no contest wasn't his fault.
No, and it was Dean's fault, and he blames Dean for it.
Here's something. You got a $10 super chat from D-Hort 13.
Thank you so much, D-Hort.
Johnny, Drake flipped a switch in Bruce, Sledge, and Dak. Do you think he even wants to win, or do you think he just wants to bring out the worst in people?
There's a thing, Johnny. There's an old saying that Nero in Rome played a fiddle while it burned, and there's people that just want to watch the world burn, and yeah, that's Drake, 100%. That man just wants everyone to be as miserable as he is.
Well, I can't disagree with D-Hort's thought, because if you see the aftermath of those matches, I mean, Bruce wasn't the same for months. Sledge, obviously, I mean, the constant repetitive beatdowns from Drake got him in a bad spot mentally. And I don't know so much as Dak per se recently, especially after this match.
Oh,
I think
come on, Johnny.
No, I think Dean has a good part of it too with Dak.
No, look at Dak after he got attacked and when he was made the number 1 contender and Sledge was suspended. Watch that whole interaction. That's not the Mile High Magnum. He is not right there.
And honestly, so you can make the argument that it's David Drake who has caused this rift between Dean and Dak. Dean and Dak are best friends, really. I mean, they've
tag team partners. Tag team
yeah, they've tagged. Yeah, they were dangerously handsome. They were Dean was one of the first friends that Dak made when he started his wrestling career. Dak started his wrestling career right around the same time I started in the professional wrestling scene here in Colorado, and Dean was right there with the training with Dak. So they go back a long way. I could see that this is all planned by David Drake to cause a rift between friends. He loves to ruin lives, and I think D-Hort makes a great point. It's done some damage in my life. I haven't been the same commentator or same person I was, 4 or 5 months ago, and all these other guys he mentioned, Bruce and Sledge,
Dean?
They're not. And Dean, yeah. Dean. We're seeing Dean. Dean has fallen into he has went down this landslide of his leadership ability. His leadership ability has been compromised, and I think and David Drake is the sole reason, because everything else Dean has done a great job with leading this company, but when it comes to David Drake, he doesn't have a clue on what to do. Not that I do, but he has gotten Dean all upside down when it comes to his leadership.
You know what it is, Lucas? It's not that Dean's scare or that Drake scares you, or he is scary, and it's not that he makes you desperate. Because let's face it, you look at Bruce Wayans, he stalked him for weeks, and Bruce wants to be the center of attention. He wants you to face him head on, and Drake knew that's what he wanted. He wouldn't do it. It drove Bruce crazy. And then you get to Sledge, and he was so much more physical than Sledge. Sledge wants you to face him face to face and be physical. Well, he didn't. He finds what it is that will just manipulate your mind to a point that frustrates you, so you feel desperate and you make bad decisions to try and end it quickly. He finds the point where you can't go any further and you make that desperate decision. And that is what is the scariest thing about David Drake is he's a physical monster. But when you get in the ring with him, you're only at about 75% mental capacity because the other 25% he's corrupted in the weeks leading up to it.
All right. We spent a lot of time on this. This is only just going to progress.
Well, he's the
as we get
champ, Johnny.
closer.
We should.
I get it. But we've been on this topic for about 10 minutes, and we still got more than half the show to go.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about.
And we'll have plenty to talk about on the March to Milestone as we've got, a month to go.
Because don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, there still is no number one contender as of right now, especially after what we saw on Charge.
Well,
not officially. Nobody's challenging for the RMP championship yet. There is a
He's
contender.
Just clowning around.
Yeah. Right now, it is Sin Bodhi is the number one contender. He hasn't lost that. He hasn't lost that right yet.
Yeah, but it hasn't been official.
Well, we don't know when he. It's official. He's the number one contender.
Oh,
we
yeah,
just don't know when.
I know that. Yeah.
We'll find out. I'm sure really soon.
All right. For all you guys that are joining us tonight, if you guys don't mind, please push in that like button.
La
push. And make sure you're subscribing to Rocky Mountain Pro, and make sure you push that notification bell so you don't miss a single episode of Dudes and Belts or Charge or Ignition every week. You'll be notified right off the bat. And, of course, leave a comment below the VOD at the end of this show. Let us know how we did, and let us know your thoughts about what happened at Peak of the Pack and what you guys want to see going forward.
You guys don't want to miss anything leading up to Milestone.
All right. We have more action. Boy, what a fight this was. Craig Fairley going up against Damon Ace, who is now officially your number one contender for the NRW Championship against Mercury Yaden at Milestone. That was made official last Friday night.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is what we come to expect from Craig Fairley. I mean, we saw him against David Drake, and then we see him against David Ace, a very similar matchup, very physical, and he just brings it. I mean, Craig Fairley is going to bring a fight to you no matter who you are, how big you are, how small you are, if you're a high flyer, if you're a ground and pound. Like, Craig Fairley is the real deal. He might be one of the very few 5-tool athletes in Rocky Mountain Pro right now. He is that guy. He is the guy you don't want to see across from you in the ring. And for Damon Ace tonight, who is normally the guy you don't ever want to see across from you, he was the welcoming committee for a very long time here at Rocky Mountain Pro. The new guys got thrown to him. Unfortunately for him, he has one thing on his mind, and it's Mercury Yaden. We see that tonight. Craig Fairley puts up a great fight, and he really takes Damon. And I'd really like to see if Mercury wasn't at ringside doing commentary for this match. I would like to see this match continue because Damon just cannot get over the fact that Yaden is in the world. Like, there is not, I don't know if the Wimmer's certainly not big enough for the both of them. And, you know, Craig Fairley's going to pick up a win here via count out, or they threw the match out. I didn't really know because, unfortunately, Damon just has his eyes on Yaden. He wouldn't get back in the ring. He just wanted Yaden no matter what, and it interrupted the match. So if the Wimmer's not big enough, I don't think, Lucas, Colorado is big enough for Damon Ace and Mercury Yaden.
I'm not sure Planet Earth is big enough for these two. Damon Ace doesn't even like the fact that Yaden exists.
Yeah.
In at all. He doesn't like having Yaden even breathe the same air as he does. I think it bugs him still that Yaden is still the heart and soul of our company. He still is, and I think that bugs the hell out of Damon Ace. He is obsessed with ending that existence of Mercury Yaden being, the guy that has been the backbone and the heart of our company. And I think he wants to do whatever it takes to erase that, and that he is the guy that everyone looks up to, that he is the guy that leads this company. And he's hell-bound on doing it. He doesn't care about any other matches with others. He doesn't care about victories with anyone else.
He doesn't even care about the Rocky Mountain Pro Championship, for God's sake.
No, obviously, he had the opportunity of a lifetime.
The main event.
And he forego the chance to main event Milestone, the biggest show that we have, and he forego that to take on Mercury Yaden once again for the NRW Championship. That just shows you his obsession. So
that's what it is. It is an absolute obsession, Lucas, and it has consumed him. He has now given up 2 times the chance to go for the belt in Rocky Mountain Pro to take down Mercury Yaden in the NRW Championship. At this point, it's like, what is important to you, Damon? Is it important to you to succeed in the wrestling business, or is it important to you to bury Mercury Yaden and watch the world burn? Like, what is it, man?
Lilith makes a great comment. Yeah, you go ahead and read it, Johnny. But yeah, I totally agree with what she said.
There's a couple valid points there. And that single-minded determination can be super beneficial, or it can be a hindrance. Only time will tell. That was the first one. And the second one that she posted, whereas Yaden doesn't seem worried about retaining his championship at all.
Absolutely, 2 very valid points.
And that also follows D Hort's $5 super chat, which is saying, "I wish Niles Plunk would come back and spill some slosh juice on Damon's new shirt."
The only thing, honestly, Johnny, the only thing that would have been better than Yaden being Damon Ace's partner at Peak of the Pack was if Derek Stone had been Damon Ace's partner at Peak of the Pack.
Yes,
that would have been great.
I would love to see the interaction between Derek Stone and Damon Ace. If it's anything like Lord Mitchell Taylor and Derek Stone, my!
It'll be great.
But Craig Fairley was pretty hard at the end of this too, and actually went after Yaden too.
I mean, let's face it, Craig Fairley. We tout him every week, and he is the real deal, and he's amazing. But
he is the future, no question about it.
He is, but let's face it, he didn't get done against David Drake. He hasn't gotten it done. He hasn't had a lot of wins. He's had some horse cockery, as Bud Bellflower would say.
He won the Aces Wild tournament. What do you mean he hasn't had any wins?
I know, but did he cash in?
He came pretty damn close.
Close is only in horseshoes and hand grenades, Johnny. The more you keep getting close and close and close and not succeeding, you get more frustrated. 2 months ago, he wouldn't have snapped on Yaden because he knows Yaden has his best interests in mind. Now he's getting frustrated because he hasn't cashed in on any of these opportunities.
He wasn't able to finish this opportunity against Damon Ace.
No, he's getting frustrated. This is where he has to be careful, because this is where that mental part of his frustration can start to seep in, and he can start falling further. You know, the thing, the harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. That's where he has to be careful right now. He's in that position. He can't squeeze too hard and press too hard, or he's going to get frustrated and press, and it's going to start falling away.
Well, this is the time of the year, guys, where tensions are at an all-time high, because we are, and so everyone's running a little bit high. Everyone's running, that the temperature is gotten hotter, and everyone's feeling the pressure, and really, the Craig Fairley wants to have a a good spot on Milestone once they have a high-profile match. Had a good opportunity if he was successful against Damon Ace, for crying out loud. Who knows what could have happened for him? So, and he feels that if Mercury Yaden would have been able to control his temper on the outside and not gotten that match called a no contest, that maybe things could have worked out a little different for him. So of course he's going to be pissed at Yaden. Everyone's going to be mad because people are getting involved in other people's matches and it's costing them. There's a lot to be to be emotional about, and that's totally understandable by Craig Fairley. He just needs to kind of harness that, and hopefully it'll translate to victories in the ring, and he can get to where he wants to be.
Put it this way: we have, I believe, 30 days left. 30 days left until Milestone.
Let's see. Today's what, the 2nd?
Yeah, but it's 31 days in May, so
yeah,
30 days left.
It'll be 4 weeks from this Thursday when we go on Ignition. So yeah,
there's only a short period of time where it's either you step up or you get left behind this Milestone season. I'm sorry, it's time to grind, and the boys and girls in the back know. Yeah, the boys and girls in the back know what time it is. So I'm not surprised that tensions are a little high, and Craig Fairley acting the way that he acted, because he doesn't act like that normally. We all know that. It's the time of year.
He's frustrated, Johnny.
'Tis the season, my friends. So it should be a very interesting month going towards Milestone 13 for sure. But boys, we got to talk about what we saw after that. We saw Lilith and Lilith.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about this?
This was a long time coming, Johnny. This is what needed to happen. I know Lilith's in chat. And this had to happen. She had to come to terms with her other side of her personality. She had to come to terms with the demon. The Warhammer had been prevalent for a very long time now, almost a year. And now it's, okay, you need to see the other side of your personality and harness it and either completely block it out or merge with it. And I'm actually very happy that she seems to me to have come to terms with that. And she seems to be like, okay, let's see if we can make this work. And the ending where she was smiling and laughing, I'm like, this is great. I'm like, they are in trouble. This is exactly, Lucas, what Lilith needed. This is the mindset she needed to battle the Asylum.
Absolutely. This is exactly because if we can get the best of both personalities, the best of both worlds, if we get the best of the Warhammer, which is, we've seen a lot more technically sound wrestling out of the Warhammer, a lot more focused wrestling, but then what you get out of the demon is aggressive and rage. If she could combine both of those, which it looks like she has, at least from a mindset, if that translates into the ring, JC could finally be in trouble and finally meet her match, someone that was going to be just as physical, if not more physical than her, and more aggressive and more rageful than she is, and which she hasn't came across anybody that can match her at this point. But now I think we're finally seeing the one Lockette that can, and it would be the Warhammer / demon Lilith Grimm.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, leading up to Peak of the Pack, the whole thing about the Asylum was be careful what you wish for. To POS and the law office. Well, yeah, take your own advice here, Salem. You wanted the demon, you're going to get the demon, and it's not going to be good. You wanted it. Well, now you have to. Sunday Night Savior, honestly, I'll give him props. He has a saying, you reap what you sow. You've sown the seeds for this. Now you have to understand there's consequences for these actions. Salem, JC, Noel. It will not be pretty.
I think Lilith says it best in chat. They wanted to make me into a monster. Well, they're getting a monster.
But what's scarier, the uncontrolled monster or the controlled monster?
I would think the controlled monster, because then she can turn it on when she needs to, and then when she needs to dial it back and be a little more focused with what the Warhammer brings, she could do that as well. To me, you're getting the very best of both worlds, and to me that's should, or at least hopefully, equal victory come Milestone.
All right, and we also have your lordship in chat too.
Oh, Lord Mr. Taylor, pinkies up. How you doing, bud? Hey, where's Maxine? Are you with Derek and Maxine? You guys hanging out? Are you throuple?
I don't think there's any relate. Yeah, I don't think there's that, and I don't think there's a relationship at all. If a friendship, Derek Stone, in his mind there is, but Lord Mitchell Taylor has told me they are not associated at all. Oh wow! Do you have the cojones, Coastal?
I have another $5 if Coastal bullies Lord Mitchell Taylor in the chat. Coastal, your track record on bets has not been very good thus far in our career here, okay? Just letting you know.
Do I have to say it in chat, or do I have to say it on the podcast?
You got to say it right now while he's in chat.
Coastal will lose that promo battle from John Corpus.
Aw, against Lord Mitchell Taylor?
Yeah.
You bring his lordship on. I'd love to talk to his lordship.
Really? Oh, this I can't wait to hear.
Might gotta book that for a later month.
Yeah,
let's get his lordship on for one of our members only events.
That would be fantastic.
We can work something out. I'll see him in
about 30 days. I would love to have tea with his lordship. And we could talk about his great successes, but we'll talk about the things that just haven't gone right in the last year or so.
He's been rolling, though. He won last week on Ignition with your now new charge champion, CBD.
Yeah, but how'd Peak of the Pack go? With Zamora?
It's tough to be able to coexist with somebody who you just don't get along with.
Well, that's everybody for his lordship.
I'm just saying. Well, that's not true. Derek Stone still thinks they're buddies.
Yeah, he and Maxine and Derek Stone are a throuple. We understand that, whether he likes
apparently
it or not.
He gets along with CBD too.
Well, the first shot being fired by his lordship in chat here.
Oh, we're doing this now. Okay.
Are they still your aunt and uncle or not? No, see, up here in Maine, that's not allowed. But you know what's cool, though? I get 2 Christmases. So I'm absolutely cool with that. Twice the presents. Not peasants. I understand. Peasants is what Lord Mitchell Taylor is thinking about, which I understand that his kingdom includes Derek Stone, a broom, and a non-existent wilted vineyard of Niles Planquet. You rule over a vast kingdom of nothingness. Congratulations, my friend.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
D-Hort's got your back, though.
He does. Derek Stone is a national treasure, and Mitchell Taylor is a national displeasure.
Hey, you know what? I would much rather have dinner with Derek Stone than Mitchell Taylor. Because at least I know Derek would probably end up paying. And Lord Mitchell Taylor would just leave.
All right. Maine, we don't need any opinions from Canada Light in here.
Oh, Canada Light, no.
That's a pretty good shot. I'm kind of digging that one.
No, listen, I'm from the coast of Maine. We have the finer things down here. In fact, where I live, we are the lobster capital of the world. That's high-end dining for you. Not, I'm sorry, Mitchell Taylor, we don't eat buffalo and whatever. I know you're trying to hunt Brewmark. That's not cool. Like, dude, just hang out with Derek Stone. He'll take you to all the nice, fine dining places. Sizzler, and Chili's and all these great places. If you tell me it's your birthday, you can get a free meal.
We have D. Hort supplying that $5 that he now owes you. He says, I'll count that. And Queen
I have to
Vampire is
pay-
also with another $2 super chat.
Listen, Lord Mitchell Taylor, how about this? How about
pay me
if you
half
ever
a week.
show up to be in the same room as me, I will pay your carriage fare because we know you can't cover it to get there.
The lobsters are the highest IQ beings in the region. Jeez. Oh, boy.
Like I said, we will cover Lord Mitchell Taylor's cab fare or carriage fare when he gets here.
There's the Boston out of you, bud. There you go. Been waiting on that one.
What, the carriage or the cab?
That one.
Cab.
The cab.
Cab fare.
The cab fare.
Cab fare.
You see, he's getting the Boston out of me now. We better be careful.
All right. We still have a lot to talk about, and this show has already gone
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you know who wasn't on this show? Lord Mitchell Taylor. What happened?
For now, we'll have meetings. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat, and I'm sure the RMP faithful would absolutely love a one-on-one, face-to-face, Coastal and Lord Mitchell Taylor.
I'll tell you what. Next time I see Lord Mitchell Taylor, I'll see if I can make something work where we get him on a members only for you guys.
I'll see him in a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You'll be here too.
I'll
So
be
yeah,
there.
we'll. Yeah. All right.
We'll make it work. Coastal,
Doesn't he have a coronation to attend here? Or didn't he have a coronation to attend in England or something? One of his other uppity brethren are getting a new hat or something.
just go get some practice in and don't be a triple I, please.
You give me more credit than that, sir. Sir.
All right. We got to move on. You'll see me Thursday, unfortunately. There you go.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's going to be here for Ignition and the Charge tapings. That's right.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll see him. We'll maybe I'll have Derek Stone ask him. I know they get along so good. So
It is one of his only subjects.
that's a lab subject.
It's private jet or nothing. All right. Moving on, we gotta talk
Cargo
about
plane.
Skylar Slice and Manny Lemons here backstage. Apparently, the breakup is official. Skylar Slice is no longer the squeeze to Manny Lemons or whatever he called her about a month and a half ago. What are you guys' thoughts on this breakup? You guys think it was best for business, I guess you could say?
Man, Madeline Grapefruits just has not had much luck on swiping right or left here on girls lately. Unfortunately, he has thrown away a couple of good ones here. And I think here, this has nothing to do with Skylar Slice. I think she was an asset to him, and he is looking for a scapegoat. And I think it's a poor decision, Lucas, for Mr. Lemons to sour himself like this.
Absolutely, this was a poor decision. You've got someone like Skylar Slice on your side, and she's helping your career. And okay, I get it. You weren't successful in your bid for being the number one contender. I don't see how in the hell that was her fault. I would still think that you would want to have someone like Skylar Slice in your corner if things are getting physical, and she'd be quite the asset. So I just don't get what Manny Lemons is thinking. Okay, Manny, so what? Now you're going to just go on your own? All right, we've.
It didn't work when you had someone, bud.
No, yeah. So we'll see. Maybe he can. Maybe he's been distracted. Maybe he's been distracted with them being in his corner. I'll kind of give him the benefit of a doubt, but I kind of don't think this is going to work out like he thinks it will.
I think Skylar Slice is going to be able to concentrate now, and we'll see her back at the top of that Lockettes division very soon.
All right, moving on. There's really nothing much to really add to that. That was just a good breakup for Skylar.
I think she won in this.
Yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, there is officially trouble in paradise with the law office.
Oh yeah. Brothers are not happy.
Yes, sir. We look back, they were looking back at the peak of the pack. Nobody in the law office did fairly well last Friday, and it seems like all the frustrations is starting to boil over, and we saw a good glimpse of it between Preston, Johnny, and Caden.
We absolutely did. We didn't see Sky or Lola there, who both were, again, unsuccessful in their attempts at peak of the pack. Yeah, the law office had a really rough time. And brothers are not happy right now. Caden is upset that Johnny did not break up a pin for him. And, I mean, let's face it, if either one of them had a chance to win that, I mean, it was Caden, right? I mean, Johnny really, he's just out there because he's Johnny. I mean, he's the other half of JK Pop. He is the J of JK Pop. But we really like the K-pop, right? You don't think JK Pop, you think K-pop. So, I mean, Caden had a gripe, I believe, that Johnny should have come in and saved him for the kick out. Johnny was too busy thinking about himself when it really should have been, if they got to the end and they got to be part of the Final Four, they were on the same team. But at least one of them could have brought something home. You know, the needs of many outweigh the wants of few, right? That's what we... So, I mean, Lucas, did Caden have a gripe here? I think he did.
Honestly, they both had a gripe. But, okay, they came across a buzzsaw known as Dalton McKenzie. The guy absolutely dominated that peak of the pack match. And they both...
What doesn't mean
hell,
D-Hoy.
just about everyone in that match fell victim to Dalton. So, it's a situation where I think they need to regroup. I think they can get back to what they were, but it's gonna take a lot of communication and healing, and we're gonna see just how good of a lawyer Preston is, because Preston said he's gonna try to get a meeting with Dean again. Where we've seen now he's had meetings in the past and they've actually worked out okay. He didn't really have to do much to get Lola into that position, so we'll see. Maybe with Dean's state of mind, maybe Preston can pull some magic and get these two back on the same page. There's just a lot of hurt feelings because when you lose a title that they held for so long,
and this is the first time they're not involved in the tag team championship in Milestone.
This is the first time since Milestone 9. Think about it. Milestone 10. Milestone 10. They were in the tag team match. They actually defeated the tag dudes that night. I called that. Milestone 11. They were the tag team champions. Milestone 12 last year. They were the tag team champions. So, yeah.
I lost the bet then.
So it's the first time in 4 milestones that they will not be involved in the tag team championship match.
Mm-hmm. It's also, if you think about it, this is a big point for them. Like, I understand that Caden is upset, Johnny is upset, but this is what Preston said when they were there. You notice when he was all alone, he was like, wait, do I get 10% of both? The dude was thinking about 2 Christmases. Like I said before, like...
Yeah. He's not a dummy, though. It's a legitimate... The bottom line is the money, right? Not, or at least for Preston. The bottom line. Yes, the bottom line is the money.
I don't think he has the best interests of them in mind. Caden, I don't think he has your best interests in mind. I'd be careful of Johnny, too. Just think about that, Caden.
John Corpus says Preston is a gold digger.
Oh, he ain't messing with no... Never mind.
Wow, D. Hort is bringing the heat tonight with this comment. Preston needs to just focus on the AA dropout, which she's talking about Sky, and the great value Nickelodeon character. Wow.
Wow.
Bringing
now
the
listen.
heat.
Now listen.
That's Nick Jr., first off.
Thank you, Johnny.
You're welcome.
You leave Diego's sister alone. She is okay. She's on an adventure.
It's her cousin, so now you've got to get it right.
Well, I agree with him about, AA flights, and I don't know if I'd fly with Sky. That's all I got to say.
It's a nice chat.
Hello, referees.
Yep.
Hello,
Wow.
referee Alice.
Yes. Chat is on fire tonight. Apparently, the only thing you need to do to get Coastal to do a promo battle is just give $5 in super chats, and he'll do whatever you want.
Burger King. Burger King.
As you can see, he's still going. All right. So, yeah, there's trouble in paradise for the law office and JK Pop and really everybody involved in that little faction over there. Only time will tell what will happen, but they're going to try and find a way to get themselves a milestone one way or the other.
They're fighting in chat. Look.
Who is?
Look, they're fighting in chat. Preston's, I'm not a gold Yeah, they're just chat's getting spicy.
Oh,
I had a conversation, Colton. Don't worry, we're back.
Yeah, we had to have a little. Yeah, we had to have a little huddle here.
So we're back. All right. Moving on. Gino and Nathan backstage in the confrontation before their street fight. I think we saw something like this coming. I didn't think it was going to go to the extent that we saw. Obviously, there was a confrontation and a beatdown backstage from Gino to Nathan, and then it carried over into tonight's, what ended up being the main event. Wasn't supposed to be, but was. Nathan Estrada versus Gino Rivera in a street fight to settle their differences.
And everything but the kitchen sink street fight, because Gino brought his luggage out with him, which was surprising. I mean, this had everything.
There was an attempted murder involved, too.
You know, we'll get there. We'll get there. I was actually watching with Mrs. Coastal, and I went, how do I explain this without attempted murder? But we'll get to that point. There was kendo sticks and trash cans. I mean, this was all of everything you loved about the Attitude Era mixed into one here in RMP. I mean, Gino, this is what we expected out of Gino. He is aggressive. He has that fiery attitude, and he will absolutely try and take what he feels he is owed. He felt that he was wronged by Nathan Estrada, who made an honest mistake. I will give him that. It's what happens sometimes. These things happen. Veteran tag teams have a way of making you off kilter. And that's what La Isla is right now. They're a well-oiled unit. I said that the other night. They are two people wrestling as one. So for these guys, it boiled over. Gino took it the wrong way, and this match was incredible. Nathan Estrada showed me so much in this match. Nathan Estrada showed me that you can beat him, you can try and break him, but you just can't do it. And this is the best match I have seen Nathan Estrada in his entirety in RMP. And Gino brought it too. Gino's a veteran. This is Gino's type of match, man. He is a tough guy. He's from the streets. And he really used every tool he had to his advantage. But Nathan Estrada tonight showed me that no matter what, he is the real deal. And I felt this for a while. And I think Nathan Estrada is going to be one of those guys you're going to see, Lucas, in the next few months. He's now put Gino to rest. Hopefully, I don't know if it's completely to rest, but I mean, this was a big win tonight for Nathan.
This was a big win. This was to me, this could be one of those launching points in his career, because not only did you kind of get a measure of revenge and seemingly squash this this beef with Gino Rivera, but when you get a win in a wrestling ring against somebody the caliber of a Gino Rivera, that also does a ton of good for your career, because you now can have that in the record books that you got a W against, you know, a guy who's got championships all across the country, and people are going to look at that, whether it's here at Rocky Mountain Pro, which I think Danger Dean will have to look at and see, wow, this Nathan Estrada guy, you know, he's got something, and also other places are going to see that this was a big win to do it on the stage of a Charged, our flagship show. That's big time for Nathan Estrada. So, yeah, kudos to him, and I think this is going to be the start of something big. As you said, yeah, Nathan Estrada's got something. I think he's got a nice little career to look forward to. I hope that we get to see more Nathan Estrada in some bigger matches, and this is good for him.
Remember that time Gino was supposed to wrestle Bruce and Drake showed up like the bear from the Revenant? And congrats on knowing the difference between libel and slander. Now to figure out the difference between your right hand and your left.
Well, I mean, miracles happen. We saw Preston walk again. That's a miracle. No neck brace, nothing. He healed quickly.
All right.
I
know you. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say something, but it had nothing to do with. Oh, I think I found it. Never mind. We'll do that Thursday. Apparently, you can start a Q&A and you can start a poll on YouTube. So I found it.
Wow.
But go ahead, continue.
Johnny's finding little tools and tricks on here.
He is.
This has all been a learning process.
I mean, Gino did everything he could tonight to try and put Nathan down. He put a plastic bag over his head and tried to suffocate him. I mean, that was the attempt. I mean, it looked like a Circle K bag at that point, too, and it was out of his luggage. So I don't know what Gino's doing, but he's very frustrated right now. They didn't win the tag titles. Gino is struggling a little bit here. I wonder what's next for Gino in Rocky Mountain Pro.
That's a good question. I think that you're going to start seeing frustration boil over a little bit more, because he has told me personally that he wants a Rocky Mountain Pro Championship. He feels that that's the one thing that has eluded him through his career that he really wants, because he's had other titles in this state. He's held titles, so he wants Rocky Mountain Pro gold, because this is the most prestigious of the promotions in this region. So that's what he wants.
Definitely a target bag. He obviously aligned with Lord Mitchell Taylor. All right. Apparently that wasn't the only thing that boiled over, because at the end of the show, obviously there was supposed to be Sin Bodhi versus Curtis Cole, and that did not happen due to time constraints, which, you know, it's fair. You have to have these shows done at a certain amount of time, and it just wasn't time.
It was just a straight out brawl.
Yeah, and it just ended up with Dean, Cole, and Bodhi getting it on, I guess. We didn't really see Dean a whole hell of a lot after he got pulled away from commentary, but we definitely saw Curtis Cole and Sin Bodhi go at it. This is going to be a very interesting couple weeks here for these three gentlemen that we saw going off air tonight. What are your thoughts on this real quick? And then we're going to wrap it up with a question for chat to post for later on.
Listen, Curtis, I know you don't always make the greatest decisions. And this is another one here. If you want to go full, I want to speak to the manager, and the manager, Sin Bodhi, that's a bad idea. I would just let this one go. You made a bad choice. You had the golden ticket in Peak of the Pack and you threw it away. choices have consequences. And no matter how bad you try and bully Dean, because that's what you're being right now, Curtis. You're being a bully. And the clown is going to tell you you're being a bully. And I will tell you from experience, being that close to Sin Bodhi is terrifying, Curtis. You're going to find that out.
Yeah, a couple things. Curtis Cole, he still believes that he is at that caliber to be Rocky Mountain Pro champion. But we haven't really seen that Curtis Cole as of late.
Because his finger hurt.
Yeah, but that's part of it. But even before that, we've seen glimpses. He's still capable of going in the ring. There's no doubt about it. He's absolutely still great in the ring. But it's been a little bit of bad decisions, as you've said. It's been, he can't seem to keep his mind on right at times. He's more focused on me half the time, for crying out loud, or somebody else that he's got to, or you guys or me, so it's always somebody else. So he hasn't been focused. He's just I don't know that he's ready mentally for that. But hell, he decided he was going to take his shot. He took his shot at Dean, and Sin Bodhi seems to be going to give him what he wants. Are we going to see? Are we going to actually see a match that Sin Bodhi agreed to? Are we going to see that coming up on Charged next week or in the next few weeks? A lot of question marks, and Sin Bodhi is. You're right. Sin Bodhi is just the wrong man to mess with, because Sin Bodhi is unpredictable. He just doesn't care about any. He doesn't care about anybody trying to bully him. He doesn't care about that. He just you're gonna mess with him. Okay, let's do it.
Look who he hangs out with.
Yeah.
Nine and happy.
Yeah. They have no cares in the world. They don't. And so, okay, Cole, you want it? All right, buddy. Let's see what you got.
Yeah.
So that we're like the Southerners say, we're fixing to find out what Curtis Cole has.
Mm.
So I tested something out, clearly.
I see that. I voted.
There is a poll going up, but I also want you to answer that question below in the comments. I want everybody who turns on this VOD later on to be like, what are these guys talking about, so they can look at it and see what we're talking about here. Who would you rather be, or who would you rather hire as your personal lawyer? Preston or Triple I?
I already answered.
And you
I've
said
been
Preston?
on the other side of Triple I as a manager before. I don't
not a
want to
lawyer. Not a lawyer.
If it's any indication on how I ended up as his manager, I'd be in jail forever.
I just feel that if Triple I was my lawyer, for whatever reason it would be a mistrial. Off the start, it would just be a mistrial.
Unless it was crimes against lotion, you're screwed.
Right? Yeah, it would, I think the ref. I mean the judge would just throw it out. Triple I would say the first sentence, and the judge would say, "I'm throwing out this case."
Phrasing, we're done.
So I'm looking at this, and there's no time limit, so you can have this same poll up the entire show. What I think we're gonna do, now that I found this, and there's also a Q&A too, I found on YouTube, so you can ask a question and have people answer in chat as we go on throughout the show. I think we're going to utilize these throughout the course of our shows from now on. Probably at the beginning of every show, we'll come up with a question a poll, and then throughout the course of the show, people who come in can read it exactly, and they can post their vote, and then at the end, before we sign off, we'll check the results of the poll, and we'll figure out who won for the night. I like that. It. It's a lot better than Twitch when you have to pick the polls up for 3 minutes, polls up for 5 minutes, and then goes away.
Oh, you're getting into top 10 territory. Let's not get there.
I know. All right. So that's cool. Can I close it? Oh, I can do it. Okay.
Yeah.
Boom. There it is. And Preston won 57% to 42. Okay. So that's how it works.
Mhm.
It just goes right to chat. Okay.
I like it.
That's very good. All right. And I believe that concludes our episode or our recap of Charge. Final thoughts on this episode, the first episode on the march or the climb or whatever you want to call it to milestone 13.
Dean has the most dangerous job in wrestling right now.
I would agree with that.
That was pretty plain and simple. Yeah, he does have the most dangerous job, and he has so many decisions right now. I know I've been very harsh on him. I would hate to be in his shoes right now with everything that he has to sort out, because he's got the David Drake situation. He's got the situation on who the number one contender for that is right now. It's Simbodi. He's got stuff he's got to deal with as far as Yaden, and he's just got so many things to deal with. And it looks like Preston's going to be bugging him some more, so I'm sure that's the last thing on his mind. Yeah, just a very busy time for the president, as milestone is just 4 weeks away.
All right. And that is going to conclude our crazy and wild episode of Dudes and Belts Recharge tonight. It was a fun night, I think.
Chat was fire tonight.
Oh, yeah. They were all over the place. It was great. I believe,
and to his lordship.
Till we meet again. That's how you were supposed to say it, but that's okay.
Nah.
All right. So, correct me if I'm wrong. We have Ignition on Thursday. We have Reignited after that. Beer Start on Friday. Is that correct, Lucas?
Yeah, the Beer Stop Friday. We've got Romero's on Saturday, and the Tap Room up in Conifer on Sunday. So
starts up. Okay.
Snowpack. Yeah, the Snowpack Tap Room. Yep. So yeah, that we've got 4 days in a row of shows starting on Thursday.
Nice.
All right, so RMP is going to be busy. So if you're in the Denver area or the Colorado area for that instant, go check out RMP. Go check out their website, rmpwrestling.com. You'll find out all the locations and addresses for these places and when they will be performing there next. I believe this is the Mile High Flea Market.
D-Hort, yep, you're right. The Mile High Flea Market. I almost forgot about that. Yeah, I was trying to think. So yeah, actually 5 different shows in 4 days.
Wow.
So,
Are you splitting up for that day, I'm assuming?
RMP.
No, I think we're doing Mile High Flea Market in the early afternoon. I think it starts at noon, and then Romero's will usually, I think it's a 7:00 start time if I'm not mistaken. So noon to, I think we'll go noon to 4 at Mile High Flea Market, shoot up to Lafayette, which is only about a 15-20 minute drive, and then
that's not bad.
Yeah,
it'll be just like the old days of like 2-a-day wrestling shows on Sunday, one in the afternoon, one at night.
That's right. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be a action-packed weekend.
Love it.
All right. So RMP is going to be busy. They're going to be on the road this weekend. So if you're in the area, make sure you check them out again. The addresses and the times and days of every event throughout the course of the year will be on rmpwrestling.com. Under the events tab, I do believe, or you can just tune into us. We'll let you know if and when they perform, because they've added and they've subtracted over the course of the past couple months. But I think we're on the steady track of we're in the summertime.
Change, pal.
Yep, we're in the summertime, and it seems like everything is going to be up and running from here on out, at least until October.
Oh yeah, there's gonna be a show almost every weekend of some kind. We've even got Taco Festival coming up pretty soon as well. So.
Top Taco. I was at
That's right.
Top Taco last year. It was awesome. Go to
Yep.
Top Taco if you can.
All right. And of course, Milestone 13 is June 1st, starting at 7 p.m. at the Wimmer Arena. Of course, if you're going to be in the area, like me, you should definitely show up and cheer on RMP in their biggest event of the year. Or if you can't and you're going to be watching on YouTube, remember, folks, $9.99 gets you not only Milestone 13, but the entire year's worth of pay-per-views that Rocky Mountain Pro puts on every year. It's a recurring membership, so once you pay it once, unless you decide to cancel it yourself, it just keeps on rolling over every month, so you don't have to worry about it. And you get all the pay-per-views, and you get all the perks from being an RMP supporter and the pay-per-view membership perk as well. So you get it all for just one low price of $9.99.
It's like 2 coffees.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, not even Venti. Those are grande coffees.
We have Dunkin'. We don't use stupid stuff like that. It's large, extra large.
Yeah, good for you guys.
Welcome to Dunkin'. What do you want? That's how they do it in Mass.
Words of advice: watch out for dinosaurs. Yeah, I heard you guys ran into a
Yeah, I
Velociraptor
heard.
or whatever they are down there.
Yeah. Brew made friends with the dinosaur. That's par for the course.
All right. And as always, folks, Ignition this Thursday, same time, same place, 6:15 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, here on YouTube and at the Wimmer Arena. Pre-show starts at 6:15 when the main card starts at 6:30. And then right after that, you will get your Dudes and Belts reignited with myself, Coastal, and Marky at 8 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 10 p.m. on the East Coast. And other than that, I believe that's it. So, for myself, Johnny Deathdrop, Coast Crusader, the voice of Ignition, and the Encyclopedia, Lucas Bradwell, we will see you guys on Thursday for another episode of the Dudes and Belts Reignited Post Show. As always, folks, stay safe, stay classy. See you on the next one, and make sure you la push